little bit?
We're without words. You know, we love Passion very much, and we love
very
Taylor.
much.
So we've lost Passion. So we ask you guys to help us to find Taylor and to get him back, please.
Please help, please.
And we want to know where he is, and we're glad that they're doing it, so that we can have a possibility of getting him and getting him back. So
look at the glam.
and thank you.
Please help us.
Appreciate it.
As the detective got closer, they fired one round to the alligator. The alligator dropped the object that he had in his mouth, and we were able to retrieve Talon's body intact.
It was the evening of March 29th, 2023, when 20-year-old Pashun Jeffrey, a vibrant mother of one, hosted a birthday party at her apartment complex in Lincoln Shores, St. Petersburg, Florida. The party was a celebration for her boyfriend, 21-year-old Thomas Mosley. Both families had gathered to mark the occasion in a seemingly normal and joyous environment. Pashun had always been a devoted mother to their 2-year-old son, Talon, who was born in October 2020. However, what unfolded after that evening shattered the peace, unraveling a grim and horrifying mystery. Welcome to True Crime Series, where we dive deep into some of the most chilling and heartbreaking cases you've ever heard. In today's story, we unravel the tragic events surrounding the horrific murder of a young mother, Passion Jeffrey, and her 2-year-old son, Talon Mosley. It's a case that involves unimaginable brutality, a desperate search, and a shocking discovery. Stay with us as we explore every twist and turn of this heartbreaking story. If you love gripping true crime stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss another one of our episodes. The day after the celebration, as usual, Pashun's family attempted to call her. It had been routine for Pashun to speak with her family, especially her mother and aunt, every morning. But that day, the calls went unanswered. Each ring ended in her voicemail, an unusual occurrence that immediately sparked concern in the hearts of her loved ones. Growing increasingly worried, her Aunt Theo decided to visit Pashun's apartment to check on her and Talon. What she discovered behind that door was far worse than anything she could have imagined. When Theo arrived at the Lincoln Shores apartment, she found the front door slightly ajar. A chilling sight awaited her. There were red stains, leading from the car outside all the way into the apartment. Panic surged through her veins as she pushed open the door and ventured inside. With the help of the apartment staff, who unlocked the door after several minutes of knocking, she stepped inside, only to be met by a scene of pure horror. The entire apartment was covered in blood, and in the bathroom, Pashun lay dead. Her body bore over 100 stab wounds, a brutal and grotesque act of violence that made her almost unrecognizable. But what was even more horrifying, Talon, the innocent 2-year-old boy, was nowhere to be found. Desperate to find the child, the family and authorities launched an immediate search, issuing an Amber Alert to locate Talon. The case now took on 2 fronts, finding the missing boy and solving the brutal murder of his mother. Pashun Jeffrey was born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida. Her life had not been an easy one, but she was a fighter. By the time she graduated from Northeast High School in 2021, she had already become a mother to Talon, a role she took immense pride in. Despite the challenges of being a young mother, Pashun was determined to provide the best life for her son. Her graduation was a moment of triumph, a day she celebrated while holding Talon in her arms. In every picture, her love for her child was clear. After high school, she began working full-time at CVS Pharmacy to support her small family. Her hard work and dedication paid off, allowing her to secure an apartment at Lincoln Shore Apartments, where she lived with Talon. Pashun's drive to succeed was fueled by her desire to give Talon a good life. She was a caring and devoted mother, always making sure to video call Talon during her work breaks and eagerly rushing home after her shifts to be with him. Talon, known affectionately as Tay, was a happy and energetic little boy. Always seen in his favorite color, orange, he was adored by his family. He spent most of his days with his grandmother Lita or his great-aunt, Theo, while Pashun worked. Talon would wait excitedly for his mother to return home, often giggling and smiling as they reunited at the end of the day. However, amidst this loving bond between mother and son, There were underlying tensions. Thomas Mosley, Taylon's father, had aspirations of becoming a rapper, but his pursuit of this dream left him absent for long periods. His involvement in Taylon's life was inconsistent at best. Despite this, just before the tragedy, Thomas had moved back in with Pashun and their son. Though he was not contributing financially to the household, Pashun allowed him to stay, perhaps hoping that things might improve. The party on March 29th had gone smoothly. Both families were present, celebrating Thomas's 21st birthday. It was a casual and pleasant event, with no immediate signs of conflict or distress. As the party ended in the late evening, guests began to leave, with Pashun's mother, Lita, promising to check in on her the next day as they usually did. By around 5:30 p.m., only Pashun, Thomas, and Taylon were left in the apartment. The following morning, after their calls to Pashun went unanswered, her mother and aunt grew anxious. Something felt wrong. Theo's decision to check on Pashun proved correct, but what she found sent shockwaves through their family and the community. As the crime scene unfolded, police and investigators worked quickly to find any leads regarding Taylon's whereabouts. Given the horrific state of Pashun's apartment, they feared the worst but still hoped that the child might be alive. Authorities scoured the area, issuing an Amber Alert and involving local law enforcement and the FBI in the search. "We need to find this 2-year-old," an officer declared, expressing the urgency of the situation. "Taylon's mother is already dead. Our main concern right now is making sure the boy is safe." The community joined the effort, with neighbors, friends, and strangers searching high and low, hoping for a miracle. It was an emotional time for Pashun's family, who pleaded for any information that might lead to Taylon's safe return. "We love Pashun very much," her mother tearfully said in a public appeal. "Please help us find Taylon and bring him home." As the search stretched into the next day, a chilling discovery was made. A local fisherman, Liddell Golden, was at Lake Maggiore when he spotted an alligator in the water. The massive reptile had something in its mouth, something that looked disturbingly like a child. Golden immediately contacted the authorities, who were already scouring the area. When they arrived at the scene, they quickly realized the gravity of the situation. An officer fired a round at the alligator, causing it to drop the object it was holding. Their worst fears were realized when they recovered the lifeless body of Taylon Mosley from the lake. Taylon's body was miraculously intact, with no visible injuries from the alligator. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community and left Taylon's family devastated. The unimaginable had happened. Both Pashun and her son had met brutal and tragic fates. As the investigation into Pashun's murder and Taylon's death continued, all eyes turned to Thomas Mosley. He had been the last person seen with both victims, and suspicion grew as the details of the case emerged. It was revealed that after leaving Pashun's apartment on the night of the murder, Thomas had shown up at his mother's house with visible injuries, cuts on his arms and hands. He had then gone to St. Anthony's Hospital for treatment, claiming he had been hurt in a violent altercation. When officers approached Thomas at the hospital, he immediately requested a lawyer and refused to speak with them. This raised even more suspicion, as investigators had hoped he could provide some answers regarding Taylon's disappearance. With Thomas refusing to cooperate, the investigation took a darker turn. Evidence began to mount against him. Forensic analysis revealed bloody footprints in Pashun's apartment, including a distinctive Gucci logo which matched shoes Thomas owned. Investigators also found a bottle of cleaning solution with Thomas's fingerprints on it, hidden under the bed. Pashun's cell phone data also painted a grim picture, showing that her phone had left the apartment at around 8:30 p.m. and pinged near Lake Maggiore before arriving at Thomas's mother's house at 9:15 p.m. With these pieces of evidence in hand, authorities arrested Thomas Mosley and charged him with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 for Pashun and 1 for Taylon. The community was left in shock as details of the case emerged, and people struggled to comprehend the brutality of the crimes. The autopsy revealed that Pashun had suffered over 100 stab wounds, a clear indication of a violent and rage-filled attack. As for Taylon, his cause of death was determined to be drowning. Despite being found in an alligator's mouth, the child had not been mauled or injured by the reptile. The medical examiner's findings suggested that Taylon had been thrown into the lake alive, a horrifying thought that left many grappling with the unimaginable cruelty of such an act. Thomas Mosley's actions left a trail of devastation in their wake. Not only had he brutally murdered the mother of his child, but he had also disposed of his own son in a heartless and shocking manner. The motive behind the crime remained unclear, though some speculated that Thomas might have been dealing with untreated mental health issues. Thomas's YouTube channel, which had over 1,000 subscribers, was another clue into his troubled mind. His music videos featured him flaunting money, brandishing weapons, and rapping incoherently about violence and drugs. These videos portrayed a young man spiraling out of control, far removed from the reality of his responsibilities as a father. In the aftermath of the murders, Thomas pleaded not guilty to the charges. However, the overwhelming evidence, including forensic data, phone records, and witness testimony, painted a damning picture.